to Kiwibox. That's the one. Yeah. Good luck.
What up, team? Here live with Big Boy Boxing. Yeah, it's a bit of an odd time, but I thought I'd do a stream tonight to cater a little for the New Zealand audience that don't usually get involved with the streams. So, as usual, give me a sec here. I'll get a few things sorted, get some invites sent out, and we'll get the show on the road. So we have a little bit to talk about. There is the situation with Anthony Joshua, still looking for an opponent. But Luis Ortiz turned down the fight today, so it won't be Luis Ortiz, unfortunately, and that's a fight many of us wanted to see. So it is what it is. There is still a short list. There's Trevor Bryan, Andy Ruiz Jr. and Michael Hunter. So a bit to talk about there. There's also anybody who would like to get some opinions in about Jarrell Miller and his situation. We can talk about what's going on with Joseph Parker and whatnot, and yeah, pretty much go from there. So regulars, I've just sent out a link on Hangouts for you if anybody would like to join there, and just give me a second here and I'll drop one in the chat for y'all as well, and anybody else who might like to join could just click on that and you'll be in. So there's a link in the chat as well for anybody who may like to join. Give me a sec here, we'll check the audio, make sure it's running, be in. It is. Very good. So, we're all good to go. So, many of you may have seen me drop a video today about Luis Ortiz turning down the fight and the reasons why. I mean, we've got limited information so far, but as it stands, it looks like Team Ortiz weren't happy with the offers they were getting. They're calling them lowball offers. They've turned them down. Saying they won't be bullied into going into a fight at short notice, so on and so forth, which seems a little out of character considering Luis Ortiz has seemed desperate for that fight for such a long time, and it's an opportunity to get 3 recognized belts in one fight. There is talk of some saying that he may be scared of a drug test. Some are saying it's Al Heyman not wanting to deal with Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua and his team. And some are just saying that Luis Ortiz is worth more than that. So, it is what it is, like I said. There is a link in the chat for anybody who may like to jump in. And like I said, regulars, I've also sent out a link. If anybody would like to use the link in the chat and it's not working for them, check out the description. There's a way to contact me on Hangouts. If you send me an email there, you can get right on in on the conversation. Also, for Joseph Parker fans, there's still a high possibility that Joseph Parker could be facing Derek Chisora. It was going to be on the 13th of June, but that card now has moved to the 20th of July. And the headline for that card will be Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas. Not a bad fight in itself. But I'd expect Dillian Whyte to come through that fight. I'm not saying Oscar Rivas is any kind of bum. He's unproven at top level. Besides his win over Bryant Jennings, he hasn't really fought anybody. However, he was an accomplished amateur. He beat Kubrat Pulev in the amateurs, in the Olympics actually, and he's got some power, and it seems he can go the distance. I mean, through that fight against Bryant Jennings, he seemed to gas out through the middle rounds, but came on late and managed to stop Bryant Jennings. So an unbeaten prospect. Got to give kudos to Dillian White for that at least. I was hoping we might have Adam Fahey in here tonight. Said he was going to join in, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, what else have we got to talk about until someone turns up? Lucas Brown, over and done with as a heavyweight, I think. Knocked out cold, well, not cold, knocked out with a body shot by Dave Allen. We have Marla2243 in the house. How are you, brother?
How's it going, man?
Not too bad. Been keeping up with what's going on, man?
Yeah, been. But Jarrell. Oh man, the funny thing was, everyone was always questioning how does this big guy boxer move for 12 rounds, throwing 60 punches around when he's that big.
Yeah.
You know, it was too good to be true, and sadly, we got what people suspected. You know.
Well, yeah.
And I think.
Carry on, mate.
Yeah, I think I noticed they're trying to sort of say, oh, well, other guys do it too, and other guys have got caught, and it's like, but that's like sort of like going and doing a bank robbery. You say, hey, well, I'm not the only one doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like he got caught. It was blatant cheating.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think, which is for stamina. He had the other drug, which was for stamina, and the HGH, I think, is for your muscle tone or something.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's blatantly cheating. And I saw that Johnny Nelson, the English fighter, was saying something about him getting a penalty that's people have got. And I think that's BS. I just feel at some point in boxing, because I've said this before, the fighters at the moment are playing. And they're saying, well, if I cheat and get away with it, I can make millions of dollars and win titles. If I get caught, they're going to ban me for a year and fine me 200. So it's worth cheating.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, they've got to put penalties in place that these guys take seriously.
Yeah, for sure. And, the cheek of that Serafina coming out and saying that the treatment he's getting is because he's black, man, and I thought that was pretty shit, considering if you think back, how many times have you heard of anybody having HGH, EPO and GW1516 in their system? 3 different performance enhancers at the same time.
Drugs. I mean, no, you've had fighters get, as I say, he was a walking chemist. What were they calling Jarrell Pharmacy Miller?
Yeah, something like that. It was funny.
It was just eaten. I think that's what's got people about it. It was just so. How did he ever think he was going to get away with it?
I couldn't.
Unbelievable, mate. How going to be able to mask 3 drugs, man?
Yeah.
You know, and the irony of it all. I thought about this. It's like, what was he getting for the fight? About 7 mil?
Yeah, I heard 6.5, but it's varied.
6.5, something like that. But I mean, he could have stayed off the drugs, lived up 50 pounds overweight, got his ass handed to him, and walked away with 6.5 mil.
Yeah.
Instead, he's cheated, used these drugs, and now and he will never come back from this. I don't believe he'll ever get another title shot. This was his opportunity.
Man, I don't think he'll be very much involved with professional sport full time anymore. Nobody's going to want to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
No.
No.
Painted, man. It's just, yeah, he's ruined, eh?
Yeah.
Utterly ruined.
Shocking. Just give me a sec here, mate. I'm going to change over from my mic to my computer to my phone, and then I'll be back with you in a sec. But while I do that, you could give us your opinion on Lucas Brown versus Dave Allen. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw it, eh? I was hoping for a bit more from Lucas Brown, man. I thought, what an effort he's spent, he's had it, eh?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's this game. I tuned in for the fight. Yeah, I just had nothing, man.
And what did you think about Sinay Gashi versus Derek Chisora?
Yeah, that was a dead beast just there to survive. He run all night. But I thought Chisora looked awful. I thought he really didn't thought he could have applied, gone to the body to try to cut the ring off and go to the body to try and slow him down and throw some to the head. Yeah, I thought he looked quite lackluster, Chisora.
Yeah, I thought he looked pretty done as well.
Yeah, he did, man. He looked real lackluster, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was disappointing too. That was a disappointing fight. All that.
I've actually been talking to somebody who's seen Senegashi sparring, and all I'd seen of him before this, he's a fucking animal every time he's in the ring. But the person I was speaking to who'd seen him sparring says that when he gets hit, he doesn't like it. So I think he felt the power of Chisora early on, and he was pretty wary after that.
Man.
Yeah.
What was it? The other fight, Terence Crawford, Amir Khan. Amir Khan. He.
I've got that opinion as well. I've seen a few people around with their videos saying that the rule foul stops a fight from continuing, then it should be it's a disqualification. It doesn't make any difference whether the foul was. But then the referee's got to take into account is the guy trying to quit or not?
Yeah,
because he got fouled.
He was trying to. Yeah, he was getting taken around. He was outclassed, and he was taking a hammering, and he wanted out of there. And he saw his opening, and he took it. And that low blow, I've seen guys take low blows worse.
Yeah,
and
there's also the fact that he didn't even try to take the 5 minutes that he's allowed,
he wanted out. He was getting taken to school. He looked so outclassed, man.
Yeah.
He bailed out. He saw his opening and he took it, mate. Yeah.
Well, we've got to face fact. Terence freaking master boxer, isn't he? He's got some real skills.
Yeah, he made Khan look average, eh? He really did, man. Ruiz Dimitrenko. Yeah, it was predictable outcome. But
pretty much.
Yeah. But I don't know why he's a boxer. He's got no. I don't know. He's got no heart, mate. I don't know what he's doing in there. Maybe has he got no other way of earning a living, or he's just got no heart.
Yeah, it's his downfall. I mean, he's got a decent punch, but it's like he's too chicken to throw it because he's on a counter or something.
Yeah, man. It's just no good if you're in a boxing ring, eh? It's just So that was predictable. I'm hoping Ruiz get the fight with AJ because he will show up and he will give 100%.
Yeah, he's not going to be
give it everything.
He's not going to be a pushover. He's got a chin, quick. I mean, he's a little bit small, but
if he can get inside and get his shots off, he could have his moments. And as I say, he's got that attitude. He'll give it everything. He'll give it 100%. So I'd love to see him. I think that they're talking about him, and I haven't seen Michael Hunter fight, but they're talking as well. Yeah,
I think his fight against Ustinov is on YouTube, but I think watches him fighting Alexander Usyk in the cruisers. Give you that was probably Usyk's fight ever.
Oh, interesting. I'll have a look at that. Yeah, I'll check that out before AJ's fight. Yeah.
He's a good fighter, and he is an ex-cruiser, and he's American. He's got those going for him. He's got a pretty decent resume, really. As a heavyweight, I don't think AJ is going to get credit if he does beat him.
No, I don't think so either. I think it'll be just a real non-event. He's got nothing to gain and everything to lose from it.
Yeah. He could be shown a little bit more favour since he's recently signed with Matchroom and DAZN, but for me, Andy Ruiz is the big, sticks out, makes the most sense.
Yeah, totally.
Kalnaki's not available, but Yeah, I'm bummed Luis Ortiz isn't going to take the fight either.
Yeah, man, I'm hearing a lot of excuses. Oh, it's short notice and all this. It's like, hey, man, you got a chance to fight AJ for 3 titles, a bigger payday than you've ever had in your life. How old are you? How much time do you have left? And you don't want to take the opportunity? It's like,
Even if fully prepared, which I don't think would be the case because Luis Ortiz is used to quick turnarounds anyway.
yeah, man.
But going to lose if it's worth $4 or $5 million at minimum to him. That's 8 and 10 being paid for a match, you know. So
that's right. And I mean,
set him up for life.
if he was a young guy and he didn't want to take the risk early in his career, I could understand. But as an older fighter, coming near the end, when you get that sort of opportunity, I'm really disappointed in the guy. And there are people talking about, is he worried that he won't pass the drug test? You know, And you're an old guy and you're still fit and trim and still throwing fast, hard punches. You do have to ask the question.
You do.
Because age has no mercy on Muhammad Ali or Larry Holmes or Joe Louis or anybody.
No,
and so
right.
when you see an older fighter who's amazingly keeping themselves in great shape and defying to ask why.
I have seen a few people around talking that Al Heyman has a big hand in down. Al wants to keep Ortiz for Wilder. For the rematch, and it puts 2 times the money into PBC's pocket, of course.
Yeah.
But
the sad for much is he going to get fighting Wilder compared to what he'd get fighting AJ.
Yeah, it also makes me think though now because Andy Ruiz is now a PBC. Is Al Heyman going to try and save him for Wilder as well?
Oh,
is that going to fuck it right over?
Yeah. End up, fighting Michael Hunter.
Yeah, or Trevor Bryan is another option that nobody's really there, and he's willing to fight. So,
no wonder what a downer though, eh? no offense to Trevor Bryan, but
he's in to make a name for himself. But, BJ Flores, ex-cruiserweight, and that's it.
It is a letdown. I was actually gearing up for that Miller fight. I was getting excited about it.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, it's all just fallen flat.
I saw some guys about the situation and who would be as good as Miller as a replacement. But I was thinking to myself, whoever you're going to compare to Miller, you're not actually comparing it to Miller. You're comparing it to the 3 different PEDs that he had many years ago.
Oh yeah,
Miller.
He's been cheating for a long time. I have no.
Well, it's the end.
Because, and the reason I say that is because he's had this amazing stamina for a long time, and he's had that stamina weighing 300 pounds. He's been at it for a while, man.
Indeed. We have someone else in the building. Who do we have here? It's Adam Fahey. How are you, mate? Must still be getting his tech sorted out. Just jump in once you're sorted there, Adam.
What's your fight? Dillian White, Oscar Rivas is that's a good one.
It's not a bad fight. Don't get me right, but I want to see Dillian White in a much better fight than that.
Same. Yeah.
Not Oscar Rivas, but he's got a bit of work to do to prove himself at heavyweight. I mean, beating one ranked heavyweight, prove yourself, and he made it look hard as well when he did it.
I looked at his record and I went through it, and there's not a lot there, and it is frustrating. I am frustrated with the heavyweight division at the moment. Like people are saying, the heavyweight division's a bit bare at the moment, but it's not. There are some huge matchups in the heavyweight division to be made really good fights, and they're just not happening. You know, you've got Wilder, Fury. You know, there's some. You know, as though there could be a rematch of Wilder and Ortiz. There's some good fights out there, man, and being made. You know, and that's just so frustrating. Boxing just gives itself a black eye over and over again.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to be doing in the near future because he's not going to be getting a Wilder fight straight away. And I thought maybe that Rivas versus White fight actually got made because they saw Ortiz. So Dillian couldn't fight Ortiz, you know, if AJ was.
Yeah. That would be a great fight, Dillian White Ortiz. Just size wise, you know, stylistically, be a great fight.
The same height, they got very similar reach. There's a big difference in age there, but there's also a big difference in coordination and balance. You know, Dillian White's pretty ragged looking, even though he gets the job done.
Yep.
Whereas Ortiz looks pretty flawless, really, with when he throws his punches. He's economical, and you know. But yeah, it would be an interesting matchup, much like and Kalnacki would be a fucking awesome fight too.
Yeah. It would be. I got a question here for you. Scott 70 left it so long to confirm that Miller had tested positive. Was 4 weeks.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because he tested was EPO or something. Yeah, way earlier, eh?
Yeah, it was 13th of March and the 20th of March the tests were taken or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
20th and 31st of March or something like that. But either way, it's a long time for it to come out. I don't think it was the managers and promoters getting the information. I think it was pretty much news as soon as they had the information, but it was the labs bringing out the results in that long to get the results or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was ages. You're muted there, Adam. That might be. I can't unmute you. You're on your PC, are you, Marla?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So you can see what's going on in the chat at the moment. So anything important comes up, gives a bell. Adam's not talking in there, is he?
No. I can see the little logo thing up on the screen, but he is muted. There's a I can see the little insignia on it. I think he's on mute. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there he is. Adam, you hear us now? All right. Heard him.
Yep, that's it. He's off mute now. Is he?
On, off. He must be Tutsui.
Parker, it'd be interesting to see what if Parker ends up fighting Chisora. It's all gone a little bit quiet.
You there?
Yep.
Yeah, my phone bloody dropped out.
Oh.
Oh, I'm on my computer now. So yeah. What other fights did we have? There was a fight. Did you see the Jaime Munguia versus Dennis Hogan fight that was on?
No.
It was actually a pretty good fight. Dennis Hogan did a lot better than most thought he would, but it was a great fight. All right.
Got a question: a winner, Thurman versus Pac-Man. It looks like it's happening.
Ooh, that'd be an interesting matchup. I've been kind of waiting for that one for a long time, but it's never eventuated.
Okay.
So, interesting. No idea when that is, man.
Adam's having issues with his headphones. Bear with him.
Oh, yep, it's all good. Oh, good. Well, I guess we could talk a bit about Dominic Breazeale versus Deontay Wilder.
Oh yeah.
What do you reckon of the fight, mate?
I'm sort of, man. I think there's going to be some. I'll be surprised he starts slow in this fight because they don't like each other, and I'm actually picking Wilder to knock him out within 5.
Yeah, be interesting if
I
he
just-
does, because Wilder tends to start slow, doesn't he? So
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't like each other. There's a bit of bad blood there,
yeah,
and I think if shot, I think it's going to be on. And I'm sort of picking. I'm picking, Wilder to get him out of there within 5. Certainly, no more than 6. Get him out of there definitely within 6, because he's so easy to hit Brazil. He's just wide open, and yeah, I think he doesn't want to be taken Wilder. He'll get put out pretty quickly.
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to that fight. It's going to be a goodie. Was it 18th of May?
18th of May, indeed. Yep. Not sure what else is going to be on that card yet, but I'm sure there'll be something else on there. Possibly a Lewis Ortiz fighting somebody. Maybe even Lewis Ortiz versus Adam Kownacki. Adam, you made it, mate.
Finally, boys.
So you've been hearing us yabber on. What would you
Yeah,
like?
bits and bobs, bits and bobs.
All right, mate. What would you like to talk about? Because we've covered heaps already. But
Yeah, I've heard the drogues at McDonald's in Brooklyn. Yeah, I heard a little bit. Was it there about Wild?
yeah, we're just having a yarn about the Brazil fight, how we think it might go. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I think that will end when Deontay wants it to. I believe.
yeah. Will he try and make a statement and do him early, or is he going to be a bit careful?
Yeah, I'd see it. I think if he lands once, it's all over.
Yeah, very much so. Of course, we've also got the other one we weren't looking forward to in in Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwartz. I don't think that one will go past 8, but depends what kind of mood Tyson's in. If he wants to play a bit, well, he might go the distance just for shits and giggles. You know what Tyson's like. So, be interesting. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, I think he will stop him. He is underrated puncher, Fury. He does have some power there when he decides to use it. He had Wilder rocks. I'd pick him to stop Tom Schwartz later in the fight.
Yep, fair enough. What do you reckon there, Adam?
Yeah, I reckon Schwartz might retire on the stool. To be fair, maybe not a 10. Yeah, to be quite comprehensive, really, you can't just look to have a boxing scene. That won't sell too well in the States. So, yeah, I think if he tries just to get.
Yeah, I think you're probably right too. Yeah, I'm not sure how uncareful. Yeah, that's why I'm giving it. I'll give it 8. But,
Yeah, I seen a wee interview today where Bryant Jennings said that he was going to be on that card.
Oh, of course he will. He's a top-ranked fighter, isn't he? Forgot about that. But,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who he comes back in against. But a lot of the top is sort of fighting itself, aren't they? So there's not going to be many partners left.
no,
Correct.
we have a fight coming up this weekend that's of some interest. We have up-and-coming prospect Efa Ajagba, Michelle Wallace, who only has 1 loss to Christian Hammer. You guys think Wallace is going to last any?
No.
No.
Yeah, I've got Efa Ajagba as my second hottest. So
Yeah, I like him, mate. I saw one of his fights. I've seen a few highlights, and he's got work to. He's still young. He's got work to do, but he does.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens with him when he comes up against somebody who's going to actually fight back rather than let him monster him. But yeah, what do you think of Efa Ajagba, Adam?
Yeah, I'd say he's probably definitely the top. We're a bit sceptical on his age, to be fair. But yeah, I definitely think he's probably the number one. Guys like Hervik and even now are sort of almost contender level. So they're probably not 2 fights away where if you will sort of see a few more and try and build him. But yeah, no, he's definitely a talent and definitely packs a punch by the look of it.
Yeah.
I see. Is Serenko back out this weekend?
Yes, he is. I can't remember who I saw. He was anybody of note, but he's not far into his career, is he?
No, I think he's only like 10-0.
I did see him when I was checking
Maybe 11.
checking the BoxRec schedule, but I can't say I recognise the name, or some Russian or something he was fighting. He had it was a winning record, the guy he was fighting. So, moving up.
Oh, I see. It's also Richard Larty to see if he turns up.
Oh man, how many fights has that dude signed and then pulled out of? You can't count on him until he's in. And again, he could end up like a Curtis Harper and walk out of the ring. He's that unreliable. But I don't think he's going to last too long. He was talking himself up. He's going to make a statement against Daniel Dubois. You guys think that's realistic?
Who was that? Daniel Dubois.
Daniel Dubois and Richard Larty.
I'm not familiar with him, actually.
He'd signed to fight Joe Joyce at one stage. He'd signed to fight Junior Farr at one stage. Those fights. So he's got one loss on his record, but that was apparently due to an injury. I haven't seen that fight. But yeah, it was a retirement, so it's not like somebody beat the shit out of him or anything. He had an injury apparently, unless I'm pretty sure that was the case. But yeah, hasn't proven himself yet. He's kind of jumping in with on the planet, so taking a big risk and probably going to pay the price. But
what's the thought? What's on Joe Joyce pulling out of the all-British clash with Daniel Dubois?
Well, he hasn't. See?
No, I think his team and Sam Jones and that are sort of pulled out of that. I'm guessing citing that it's sort of Toodle Joyce, but I know he's mandatory for the EBU, and I'm not too sure what his status is, but he's definitely, well, he's no longer ranked in the WBA, so I don't know if he's mandatory for Char or not.
There's a few different possibilities for Char, isn't there? There's also Trevor Bryan, who's the WBA interim champion, fighting Char as well. Yeah, too many freaking belts in that organisation, so it'll be interesting. But like you say, I think the unnecessary fight for Joyce. Not that I think he's scared or anything, but stepping back down to British level. Dubois only has a ranking with one governing body, doesn't he? In the top 15.
Yes, I believe WBA, yeah.
So I can't see the logic behind it, unless it's paying really good money. You know, Joe Joyce should be trying to target.
It's Frank Warren. It's not good money.
Well, there you go. Yeah, fish eyes. Fish eyes as tight as his fish eyes. Yeah.
Joyce wouldn't have been considered for an AJ as opponent. I don't think Joyce's people would put him in. He's only at 8.
No, I don't believe they would. No. I don't even know who's promote. Oh, he's a PBC fighter now too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Joe Joyce. He's changed trainer again. He just changed trainer as third coach in 18 months or fourth coach. So not quite sure what he's up to there as well. But be interesting to see where he goes. I wouldn't have Joyce fight. It's not a bad fight.
That'll be good. Be a good one.
I'd rather see Gorman and Dubois though. Some good, and that's the on the similar sort of British level. Then one's not a world fighter and so on and so forth. But
Have you guys talked about Ortiz at all? Or?
yeah, man, give us your take on him taking. I'm calling it ducking, but we don't know the circumstances of the offer just yet.
No.
So, what are your thoughts there, Adam?
I've been getting maybe 2 mil US so I can maybe at a push. And I think Ortiz is well and truly up for that. Old Uncle Al, and him being the advisor in speech. Yeah, I don't think he's allowing that. As he's a promoter anyway, but yeah, I think he's lined up Wilder and Ortiz too at the end of the year.
For a hell of a lot less money.
Yeah, for only probably 300,000. So
Wow.
yeah, I wouldn't if we don't really see Luis Ortiz in 2020 at all. I could see him as a retirement fight with Wilder, and that's it.
Timon could have the same kind of push with Andy Ruiz as a possible opponent.
Yeah,
He might try and save Ruiz for Wilder as well.
Yeah, quite possibly. I don't know Ruiz's position if he's fully managed under Al. I'm not too sure. But if he's if he is fully managed, then I'm sure there'll be some sort of place.
I think Ruiz has actually got an independent manager, and he's only signed. He's signed to whether I know or if that's just for the network, or is Al as the advisor as well. I'm not sure on the details of it, but he's definitely EBC. So maybe he's just fighting there. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah.
Who AJ fight out of the last sort of 3 that are left, and Michael Hunter, Andy Ruiz, and Trevor Bryan?
I think it's probably more likely to be Hunter, but yeah, I'd much rather see Andy Ruiz. Hunter, to me, is sort of a blown up cruiserweight. I know he's fought at heavyweight for quite a long time, including amateurs as well, but he's a wee bit too open to me that he's just going to get tagged with one right hand. And yeah, I don't particularly know what his chin's like, but my hand's from AJD, so yeah, I think Andy is probably the better boxer as well, to be honest, but that's just...
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, well,
but yeah, I'd much rather prefer Andy.
Yeah, pretty much everybody I've spoken to so far, Andy Ruiz out of the last 3 is the preferred opponent. So let's see if Eddie can pull it off. Let's put up enough money if Al Heyman's involved. So we'll see. But I guess that's going to have to be announced in the next sort of week or so. Otherwise, pretty hard to get an opponent on 5 weeks' notice. So we'll see. Parker Derek Chisora could be a possibility for the White versus Rivas undercard. Sorry, man, my connection cut out. I didn't hear any of that.
Thoughts by that, or?
Yeah, mate. On Chisora versus...
there was like 3 fights that probably going to be on that card. Likely to be
David Price versus Dave Allen.
Where you go, mate? Give us your opinion on the Parker versus Chisora fight. You there?
Yeah, I think.
connection.
I don't know if
yeah.
it's my connection or yours,
Thoughts
mate.
on thoughts on the decent fight. I'd expect Parker to win, and to be honest, I expect him to stop him. Going to Dave Caldwell is going to be the best move at Chisora, but he's made that, so he's going to have to stick with it. But
It wasn't
Wasn't
me
me
who
who
dropped
dropped
out.
out.
It was
Marla dropped out.
Oh no.
No,
Was it
Was it
Adam dropped out?
yeah, he's having problems with his.
He's back again. Was he cracking up to you?
He was, yeah, he's
Okay.
having pretty major issues
Hello.
with this. Oh, here it
Yep.
is.
You're
You're back. It was you cracking up,
Yeah.
mate. I thought it was me. I was running out. It's all right. Yeah, so you were saying you expect Parker to stop him at some stage, and then you cut out.
oh yeah, I'd say probably 8 to 9.
Fair enough.
It's probably that final payday that he's sort of hunting. I know he said there wasn't a payday in the Allen fight, so he's got no interest. And probably likewise, there's no payday in the Chisora Price fight. So, yeah, I think he's sort of. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get Parker if he went and fought Povetkin, because I know he's still got a date there, and is it the go there? They're trying to get him on.
Correct. That's the same.
Yeah,
that's
so-
or 17th, isn't it? The same card Usyk's fighting on. Usyk.
I think Usyk.
Okay, I thought he was on the 17th. They were going to do it on the clash with Wilder Brazil, so they moved it the day forward. But
I think they moved it the full week back.
Oh, okay,
That whole fight week, I think.
fair enough. Yep, all good. Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind seeing Chisora versus Ken either. That's not a bad fight as well. But I really do want to see Joe get a decent opponent. If not Chisora, then decent. Try and get an Edge Cabello or something like that. But, what do you reckon about that fight, Muller?
Yeah, I'm getting. Parker, we were so used to Parker being busy. You know, he'd fight 3 times a year minimum, and he's sort of. God, we've only had the. God, he's December against a nobody.
Flores, yeah.
And yeah, and it's going to be, the middle of the year before he even fights again. So I hope it is someone that's not just decent, man. He needs to start. He needs to start moving. Otherwise, he's going to just fall so far back in the pack.
To a degree, I think he hasn't been in a rush because he's had another baby at the start of the year, so he's been spending chilling out. Of course, staying in shape and whatnot, but really do want to see him fight twice this year at least. Now that already, so
Yeah, definitely.
um,
As
Yeah.
long as he fights 2 times in the last 6 months of the year.
and decent opponents, so he gets back in that mix.
Because he's got that number.
Well,
He's got a number 6 ranking, I think, in WBC. So if he can build on that, he could get himself into a decent position by the end of the year.
I think he's also 13.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'd if he does fight Chisora, I'd like to see him try and then fight the winner of at the end of the year there,
Yeah, that'd be good, eh? That'd be good.
definitely.
because that should be a humdinger, that one.
Also for that card, I think Price versus Allen is going to be quite likely.
Yeah,
In the between
man.
the giant glass chin and the underachiever who could do so much better, but it's like
Yeah.
So I'd enjoy that fight. I'd probably pick Dave Allen in that fight, to be honest. Because who can knock out Dave Allen? It doesn't seem like anybody fucking can. So if he lands one of those David Price, it's going to be all over Red Rover.
Yeah, man.
But
I don't think Tony
I
Yoka
don't
was
know.
too far away, to be fair.
Yeah, off air, I'll tell you a little secret about Tony Yoka. I know he won't be fighting for at least the next 28 days.
Oh,
But anyway, there is going to be another heavyweight fight. It hasn't been announced yet, and it's the debut of a heavyweight. And that's all the information I can give you now. I have to give you the rest when it's confirmed.
you're at Gassiev?
No. It's the debut
Oh, debut
debut
fight,
as a pro, not just as a heavyweight. Debut as a pro. But you'll like the fight. But yeah, we'll move on to some other fights.
What's he
Who
up
the
to?
hell was he gonna fight?
It's on,
in that-
it's on the 18th, isn't it? I'm looking at his record. He's got a to be announced opponent in Chicago, May.
Who the hell's that gonna be?
Hopefully Michael
Mm.
Hunter. I mean, he's not fighting AJ.
Shit, that's an interesting matchup too. Because Michael Hunter's actually bigger than Povetkin. Very interesting indeed. We have someone new in the hangout. How are you, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. You been listening into the conversation?
Not long awake, if I'm honest.
Fair enough. This is Tommy Temper for anybody who hasn't checked out his channel. Go and do so. Funny little videos. Yeah, we were just talking about who Povetkin could possibly be facing on the 18th of you got any ideas there?
I don't. Is this him coming off a loss to AJ? Or
No, he hasn't had a fight since then that I'm aware of.
so,
You've got his record up there, have you, Muller?
Who's that?
Povetkin hasn't had a fight since Joshua, has he?
No.
he'll need a soft touch to make himself look good.
39 or 40,
39.
yeah, one or the other. I think he turns 40 this year if he's not 40 already.
Yeah, I think he's 39, I think.
Yeah, birthday 2nd of the 9th, 79.
But yeah, Michael Hunter. If he fights Michael Hunter, what do you think of that?
I've only heard things about Michael Hunter. I haven't actually checked him out yet. I think he's going to take someone even less riskier than that. He might take someone top 15 maybe, but top 10. I'm not, I actually thought Povetkin and Ortiz would have made a good fight, but maybe two years ago, maybe not now.
That's a damn good fight. Since they're both about the same age. So
Very true.
maybe that's what Ortiz has got up his sleeve while he turned down this AJ fight. I'm sure you've got something to say about that too, by the way, Tommy.
I do,
What?
but the thing is, nobody can.
No, I was hoping that we might have heard something from Eddie by now, but we haven't. So low ball is low ball. I mean, what do you consider low ball? I guess from Ortiz's side of things, low balling would be anything less because he considers himself better than Miller. But
Yeah,
you know,
in my mind, it comes down to economics. Does Ortiz kudos as what Miller did? He probably does, but well, maybe he doesn't. But I'd say he's entitled to half of what Miller was offered.
well, I guess there's a lot of people that are arguing Ortiz can't sell a fight like Miller can, but you know that's a fact. Selling of the fight is already sold. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. So he should be, in my mind, he should get at least half. Older souls.
It's not pay per view, so you know.
It's not. Oh, hold on a minute. Sure, age. Yeah, wasn't it?
Well, it's not pay-per-view in the States anyway. It's only pay-per-view in the UK. Yeah. We get shafted down here as well. Thanks,
How much is it going to be in your neck of the woods?
Checked. You want to give that a ruffle through Muller and see if you can find it?
What was that for?
What's the pay-per-view worth for an unnamed opponent? Oh, it might not be even registered yet.
I don't think it'll even be out yet. It'll probably be around $34.95 in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's usually what our foreign kind of fights are worth. We
Yeah.
only pay through the teeth for Parker fights. But yeah, well, like you say, the fight was sold, and like Muller and I were talking about earlier in the stream, at 40 years old with a loss on your reckon, if you are offered anything with 6 zeros on it, you really should be taking it. It's an opportunity. If you can win, you know, the world's the oyster for another 6 months while you're still old enough to stand up. But yeah, shit. Was it Al Heyman? Was it a lowball offer? I guess we're going to find out in time. But, we could do is speculate. What was that?
Best purse. I think it probably was a low ball offer. OT's best purse is what, $500,000?
Yeah. Yo, when you take a loss, you're not going to make the same money as you were when you start beating champions. So at the same time,
Yeah,
so
but to be fair, getting $500,000 for a world title fight, that's still pretty poor in my mind.
well, the champion only got what, 2 million. So
Well, I mean, how much would Ortiz have to pay to Al Heyman? Percentage?
well,
I think he takes quite a cut. I think it's 25% minimum he takes.
I guess when it's low amounts of money, I guess you gotta ask for a decent amount. Otherwise, you know, if you get an percent, you're not gonna get squat.
No.
Interesting. Yeah. Would you like to give some of your opinions of the fights that happened over the weekend, Tommy? Opinions of the Allen versus Brown fight. You want to kick that off, Tommy?
I'm going to be honest. I didn't see that one.
Oh, fair enough.
The only fight I saw, because I was busy at the weekend, was what's his name?
Crawford.
Bud Crawford, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're big fan of that fight. So, do you think Amir Khan quit?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's very, very simple. If he wanted to fight on, he would have at least waited 5 minutes to see how he felt. But he didn't even do that.
Do you think him and Virgil Hunter both thought they might score a disqualification out of it?
For no contest.
Yep. Fair enough.
Do you remember when Bernard Hopkins fought Chad Dawson first time?
Yep.
Yeah, that was ruled a knockout loss initially, and then it was changed to no decision or a no contest. Again.
Yep. Oh, you know, when Joseph Parker fought Alexander Dimitrenko and he was on his knees, technically that's a foul, but it still got called a knockout. So,
Well, sorry,
it
I'm
happens.
going to watch something at Parker fight.
Sorry, you're a bit muffled, mate. What was that?
Oh, sorry. I said, what was the name of the Parker? The guy you just mentioned?
Alexander Dimitrenko. It's the guy that just lost over the weekend. But, yeah.
Just taking a look at that right now. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that must have been a hard slap.
What was hard was watching Dmytrenko roll around on the floor like a baby, screaming, "Oh, he didn't even hit him that hard. It's just a slap." Yeah, kind of. But yeah, Adam, what did you think of Khan versus Bud?
I didn't actually see it.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was traveling at that time, mate, so I didn't see that fight. But I've got it recorded to watch it at some point. But
Good man.
later in the week,
Good on you.
I did catch Alan though.
Yeah, what did you think of that one?
The man's a legend.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah, he KO'd a 40-year-old, so that was good to see.
A former world.
Yes, who beat another 42-year-old? That was outstanding. But yeah, no, it was a picture of a shot, and I did actually quite like what some of the Sky guys were saying. If that was thrown by a world champion or a pound for pound fight over that, but yeah, I expected Alan to win, to be fair, but yeah, I don't know what's left for a couple of fights in Australia, but he won't be going back to the UK after that, I don't think.
Maybe a fight for Junior Far.
Yeah,
It's still a step up from the competition he's been facing, isn't it? So
from top 150 to 100. So.
Yeah.
Junior Farm, man, they need to step him up, hey? You know,
Yeah,
I understand, you know, as a fighter starting out, you have a getting a bit farcical now.
It is.
Yeah.
It seems to have been very stagnant since he signed up with Lou DiBella. I mean, he got that, what was his name, Fast Freddie Latham, and blew him out in about 40 seconds or something. And kind of same level, fighting the same level guys since then, which is unfortunate. But
well, he's only had 2 1-round runouts in the past 2 fights. Like the guy Rossi in Christchurch wasn't anything, and he cleaned out the other guy, had his hands down.
yeah, yeah.
But he's still fighting for that interim Oriental title.
I wonder who it's going to be next from the States, training with Wilder at the moment. So maybe he's going to be on that Wilder undercard with any luck.
Versus Washington.
I think that's a good shout, mate. I think that's a very good shout. Somebody who's not really dangerous, but somebody who can box at the same time, and we'll be able to get a decent gauge on where Junior's actually at.
Yes.
From a fight with Washington.
Some of rounds and yeah, no, I think that'd be definitely the way to go. He's 17-0 now. He's got to step up.
Yeah. Stop Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about you, Marla? What do you reckon? Would he stop
I
Washington?
think I think he could. Those guys, if you really put pressure on him and start beating him down, I think he'll quit.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Farr, if he really got aggressive and went after him, he could break him mentally and get him out of there.
That brings to mind another that would possibly be another good opponent for Junior would be Bogdan Dinu. So if you wanted to see a competitive fight, you'd put Gerald Washington against Bogdan Dinu, wouldn't you?
They can't both quit at the same time.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind seeing.
Where you go, Adam?
I wouldn't mind seeing.
Oh, that's not a bad fight either. But Martin Bacoli's got a fight coming up. He's taking on.
Fought him and stopped him.
Oh, that's right, he did. Yes, he did. That was. What was it? Last weekend? Weekend before. from?
2 weekends ago, I think.
Yeah. So I forgot about that. Shit, I thought it was still coming up. I haven't actually seen it, I don't think. And check it out.
Yeah, Marius is just a heavy punching bag.
Yeah, he's been that way for a while. And Mr. in a very explanatory way, saying he's the kind of guy that you can throw a bottle from the very back row of stand seats, but he'll still stay standing up. So interesting. But yeah, I think Marius walks well done by guys like Arthur Spilker. Yeah, he's done. When he's 6'7", so it's who else has a fight coming up that you guys
Usyk and Takam,
Usyk
May.
yes, pretty good matchup. Do you know who Usyk and Takam are, Tommy?
I know, yeah.
What do you reckon of that fight, mate? Give us your opinion.
Oh, it's a tough one to call because it's his heavyweight debut, isn't it?
It is, but Carlos Takam is actually smaller than Alexander Usyk. So
I think Takam's probably got a better punch, but he can't combination punch like Usyk.
he's a crafty old fighter, is Takam, isn't he? But his last, was it still, I don't know if he's had a fight since he fought. He was fighting well, but he seemed to start gassing out, and I'm starting to wonder if that's age showing a little bit with Takam.
He did KO.
No, Gashi had 5 days notice for that fight, eh?
I think it was only 3, wasn't it?
Well, it keeps changing. I heard them say it was 6 days a week ago, and a few days ago I heard it was 5, so I don't know, man. Maybe it was 1. But either's on it, so
Yeah,
I still think Gashi deserved to lose that fight after I saw the performance against and speaking to somebody who has seen Gashi spar, when he gets hit by somebody who can punch, he doesn't like to fight. So it is what it is. But Takam versus Usyk is a pretty good fight. You want to give us your take then, Adam?
Yeah, I think Usyk stops him. Takam must be 39 now, I think. And he's been hit around. Both Chisora and Joshua have done a bit of damage to him. And I think Usyk punches a wee bit more. And I would not be surprised if he comes in at 230 or 225 at least for his debut.
Yeah, in the ring as a cruiserweight, in most fights he was weighing in at like 219 on fight night. So
Damn.
Yeah.
He was a guy who's he's at the max of cruiserweight, but it was still comfortable enough for him to do it. But Marla.
Oh, I think he's going to stop Takam. Yeah, I mean, Takam, as I say, he was very tough. I think at his stage, even though he lost the fight, he put in a very brave effort. But I think if he's, the fight he had with Gashi to get him out of there, I think the way Usyk put, what's his name? The big mouth? Value. When he out brutally, and I just sort of feel like if he can put combinations of punches on Takam, I feel like he could get him out of there. I think he will, because that's
fair enough. And you were saying he's going to stop him too, weren't you, Tommy?
That's the thing. I'm not sure. To me, it all how Usyk brings up the heavyweight, because Takam does have a decent chin, in my opinion. The thing is, in the earlier rounds when Usyk was hitting Bellew, he wasn't putting any mustard on the punches. And I think I know why, because Bellew was still fresh and he was still moving. But I'm just wondering how much power he's going to have. To me, that is the X factor, the bit that we past yet.
I can go with that to a degree. I'm also one of those who believes, but he's a very, very smart boxer, and he doesn't put everything on every shot. A lot like Tyson Fury. You know, I think Tyson Fury had pretty decent power too, but he knows very well if he puts everything on a shot and misses, that leaves the door wide open for him to get put on his ass.
Yeah, that's pretty good breakdown actually.
I think Usyk probably will stop taking a bit of time. I think it will last longer than Bellew did for sure. But
I think
I guess there is the.
Sorry, Matt. I think if it's going to be rounds 10 to 12.
Say round 9 or 10 myself. It'll just take its toll on Takam, and like you say, he's getting older. He's been battered around a bit. He's been unconscious twice, and that kind of damage does damage to the nerves in your jaw and shit.
Who knocked him out cold apart from Chisora?
Povetkin.
Alexander Povetkin, round 9.
Shit, yeah.
Absolutely sparked him.
Yeah, fucking good fight though. If that Takam, because that was like what 6 years ago or something.
2014.
Yeah, 5 years ago. So if that Takam was fighting Usyk, I think it'd be a much more competitive fight. Because if you haven't seen that Povetkin Takam, it's a fucking perler. I mean, Takam was landing a shitload of good shots on Povetkin as well. It was a freaking war, man.
Oh, he was given. You got to wonder, it was fatigue more than anything that got Takam. In the later rounds, he just started to fatigue a little, and Povetkin didn't. And you got to wonder if Povetkin was, you know.
He was chewing them like Tic Tacs.
Well, no,
We're both the same age.
Eldonium was legal. He was juiced to the hilt. Man,
It's a stamina drug, Meldonium. I read up on it, so
it is, yeah.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, I'm picking Takam. Going for that later round day, 9 to 12. It'd be an attritional thing and just sort of grind him down. Yeah.
Would it be fair to call Takam a gatekeeper?
What was that? Sorry, I missed it.
Sorry, I said, would it be fair to call Takam a gatekeeper?
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah. Same kind of level as Bryant Jennings or who?
Derek
Chisora, but he's kind of the top end of a gatekeeper sort of thing, maybe. Level, but you know, if you can't beat those guys, then you don't belong in a world title fight, straight up.
Yeah, you're busy.
Pretty much. Or a gatekeeper as well that just didn't happen to win on that night. But yeah. Alright, so what other fights would we like to talk about? I'm sure Tommy would like to mention some divisions besides the heavies, if you like. Got any upcoming fights that you're interested in?
Boxing U24 and I'll get back to it in a minute.
All right, mate. I'm just trying to think of any other good fights off the top of my head. Oh, we've got the semi-finals of the Cruiserweight WBSS coming up. Maris Breedis is in there. Yonir Dorticus is in there. Oh shit! I'm gonna kick myself for not remembering the other two. Gassiev isn't in, and that's going up to heavyweight.
Glowacki.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Glowacki. Yeah, he's fighting Breedis, isn't he?
Yeah. And to beat Dorticus.
Tabiti, yeah. Dorticus. So there's a couple of dang good fights.
Was that on the 15th of July? All of those fights are on the same card. So that'll be a ripper of a watch. We've got 2 other weight divisions in there as well. I'm not as much interested in them. But if anybody would like to mention, feel free. I'm picking Glowacki to beat Breedis. But it's going to be interesting because the judges have been very favourable towards Breedis in this tournament. I think he lost his last fight, but they still gave him the win. So I'm wondering why they're doing that. But it is what it is. Who else have we got fighting? Tabiti and Dorticus. I'll be picking Dorticus in that fight. He's very one-dimensional, but he keeps coming and he keeps coming. He's got good stamina. He can punch. I'd like to see him change up his game a bit, but I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I think Dorticus loses that, to be fair. I think he gets outboxed, but we'll soon find out.
You could be right. I think it's a very competitive fight.
Very competitive, and like I say, simply because Dorticus is very one-dimensional. Tabiti's a damn good fighter himself.
But, I haven't seen Tabiti fight too much, so
I can't really
too much of an accurate prediction on that for myself. So, have you got any thoughts on those ones, Marla?
No, I'm not up with those either. Some of those names. Sorry, man.
Fair enough. What about you, Tommy? Any thoughts on those ones?
I'm going to pass. I don't know those guys.
Fair enough.
Questions about other fights.
Yeah. Let's go.
About Mickey Garcia, is he really a pound for pound? Because he hasn't really, in my mind, established himself at any rate.
Not for me, man.
He's just vacated 135, and they've given him Emirates champion status. And apparently he's going to 140 to fight. Who was it? They're saying that he's ducking Lomo.
He is.
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think in his mind, Spence was an easier fight than Loma.
Yep. I think
risky or more winnable.
I think what made him do that fight was the money. It was a money fight because he didn't really have anything to lose in that fight. Because it's 2 weight classes above where he's supposed to be. And if he pulled it off, he would have been a legend. But he didn't.
Got beaten, eh?
Yeah.
He really was. I watched that fight and he was never really in it.
Too small.
Yeah. I did think Spence looked pretty good. He showed some good boxing skill in that fight. But I don't think that's the fight he should have been doing that in. Fighting a guy that's 2 weight classes below you, you should be getting him out of there. If anything, it's made him look like less of a monster. Sorry, what was that, Tommy?
Triple G got Cal Brook out of there, and he came up from 2 weight.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It can't happen.
To be honest, I think that has helped Spence out though, and not stopping Gus. More than likely, the Sean Porter fight next.
Yeah, well.
Which is a unification. So
prior to the fight, I was asking that question whether Mikey would get just about as much credit as winning as just hanging around and not getting stopped. You know? so credit for not getting knocked out. I mean, what does that mean?
He can survive.
Yeah. It means you can stand there. It means you can probably run at a brick wall and smash your face into it, and you're still not going to get knocked out. And you're woohoo! That makes you cool.
Alright, one more for you guys. Apparently, Pacquiao and Son are in the works for July the 20th. That should be a good fight. It's made.
I think it's a good fight, but I honestly think Pacquiao's past his best. And it's almost
well past his best, but whether or not he has enough left to beat most of the top guys.
Yeah, I think it's a fairly competitive fight, but I'd still pick Thurman to win that fight. But at the same time, we still haven't seen the best of Thurman since he's come back either. So I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
it's a long layoff, hasn't he?
he did.
He did.
And then got
He
married and had elbow surgery. Coincidentally, the same elbow surgery that Joseph Parker had 3 months before he fought Anthony Joshua. And he had it on both elbows, but Keith Thurman needed 2 years out.
Dang.
I do find it funny how all the big guns at welter are now calling out Pacquiao's name.
Yeah.
Especially after when Jeff Horn beat him, they were saying who's Jeff Horn.
Yeah.
So whether anyone likes the decision that he got there or not, to the big boys, that should have been, let's go get that strap.
Yep.
But they went nowhere near him. So
Yep.
To be fair though, in mind, Jeff Horn's more of an MMA fighter.
It's probably a pretty apt description, isn't it?
He's a
rough ass fighter.
But he's
got the heart of a lion, and that's pretty much what it's got him through there.
Like Teddy Atlas said, he tries really hard.
It's really.
Yeah, Jeff Horn's fighting at 160. Or he fought his last fight
at 160.
But I think he's going to be sticking at 154. He only fought at 160 because he was fighting 42-year-old Anthony Mundine.
Oh, that was a brilliant knockout.
It was. It didn't look so ragged in that fight, but he didn't have time to look ragged, did he? It was over pretty quickly.
Why did Mundine fight for so long?
money.
Yeah. All about the money.
Yeah, but he must have had like 50 odd fights.
Yeah,
pretty sure in the fights he's only had one that wasn't pay-per-view.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Most of that's because he was a rugby league star, isn't it? He played rugby league for Australia for years. No, he started a few. I think that was supposed to be like exhibition fights while he was still playing league. But boxing's in his blood. His father was a boxer. He's spent most of his life around gyms, so he decided he didn't want to play team sport anymore, and then started boxing. And that wasn't until he was like 20. I don't know when he started pro boxing. It must have been late 20s. So getting that many fights in his career.
Impressive considering you start very close to your peak.
Yeah.
Your professional career.
I look at his record here. He started when he was about 25 and had 48 fights. Yeah.
That's tough to do that. 30s, late 30s, even the 40s.
Yeah. Pretty impressive. Really, I really disliked the guy, even when he was playing rugby league. Such an arrogant prick. But
he is. His personality's terrible.
I loved it when he trained harder than Mayweather and that he had more skills than Mayweather. And I'm sure he got knocked out in the next fight.
Yeah. I've just seen an article on Boxing Scene here. At the top of it says Danny Garcia, I want rematches with Thurman and Porter. So
doesn't want a rematch with Khan then?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he did beat Khan.
I don't know. Wow. I think that's a pretty competitive fight, to be honest. Where those both guys sit at the skill level. Mikey Garcia is quite a bit younger, but interesting fight. Mikey Garcia and Amir Khan. Where would they fight it at? 140, probably. Could Amir Khan still make that weight?
Garcia going back down to 140.
Would Danny Garcia be game enough to fight at 147 again? I guess he probably would against Khan.
That's Danny's weight, though.
Yeah. Danny's 140. Or 135 and 140, isn't he? Well, he hasn't been 130.
Danny's 147. That's Mikey.
Oh, shit, yeah.
No, Danny Garcia started at 140. I'm sure he might have started lower, but he definitely was champion at 140.
He just KO'd Granados last week.
Yeah, he did. That's right. Well, if Pacquiao and Thurman are going to be fighting, what? Somebody said something about. You were talking about Garcia versus Porter, were you? Tommy before. Possibly.
No, I wasn't. That wasn't me.
Possibly. Okay. Or maybe. I've heard it from somewhere. Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter could be in the mix somewhere. So that'd be an interesting fight. Do you think Porter would beat him again?
So you're asking me?
Anybody. Never mind. We'll move on to the next subject.
I can't remember the first fight.
I'm struggling myself.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch it again.
It's all good. All right. Any other fights you fellas would like to bring up? We'll think about shutting it down shortly. If we're running out of shit to talk about.
I've thought I can't think of any other fights. We've talked about everything pretty much, I think.
Shades of Ali versus TBA.
Oh yeah, he's got a fight coming up on the 25th of May, isn't he? In some warehouse. So shit.
Might be in a barn at this.
It might be Kamil Sokolovsky again. Who knows? Since the last one was only an exhibition. I guess they don't want to bring him back on something too hard, but I don't know. I think they've pretty much exhausted the British level fighters over there. Unless they want to put him in against a Nick Webb, maybe something like that. As a comeback. It's not a bad choice, I don't think. Even a cash out there if he doesn't mind getting bitten. Anybody got any preferences for who they'd like to see Huey Fury fight? Who would be a good match for him?
Irie and Price.
Oh, that'd work, wouldn't it? We'd soon see if Huey's got any punch or not.
Yeah. Christ, if you can't knock out Price, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
I wouldn't mind Delaney, but they won't have the money for it.
Ooh, that's a good
matchup too.
Two big
tall guys, I think.
Ooh, shit. I think Huey would probably take that on points, to be honest.
He'd take that on. But if Robert Helenius comes in shape and ready for the fight without any injuries,
I think many people underestimate Robert
Helenius.
He's had a bit of bad luck
through his career with
injuries,
short notice.
Fights that have made him look not so good.
But
that's an interesting match. I think Huey versus Helenius. Actually, Helenius hasn't been busy for a while. He must be due to do something. He was just about going to fight Kirat Puli, wasn't he? Before Bogdan Dinu got put in his place. That would have been.
He hasn't done anything since Tepa.
So I guess that's one of his better wins, you'd think, wouldn't it?
The wins
against mind you reckon
Tepa isn't exactly
any good when he hasn't got PEDs in the system. So
he did beat Peter and Chisora, didn't he?
Yes, Samuel Peter. Was that him? Was that Pulev? Was that both of them? You might be right. But
yeah, I think he did fight.
Okay. You know, I'd
like to see Robert Helenius fight Easy Ugano.
I think that's a good fight.
Yeah, I don't know what Easy's doing, to be fair.
Yeah, fucking
fucking
around.
around, I think.
Probably doing Dancing with the Stars or something. And
Be doing
Poland, who
Poland,
knows?
who knows?
Yeah, I think that fight he had with Brazil destroyed him.
Yeah, he's got a new manager and a new coach now,
but
he fought Freed Cassie, and then that was it. Freed Cassie quit, and he hasn't fought since. So. It's been done.
And he's at an age, Izu, where he needs to get moving.
Yeah, well, what is he now? About 33
or something? Early 30s. He's got to get going if he wants to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
32, isn't he?
Something like that, yeah. It was 30 when he fought Brazil.
Well,
it must be coming up a couple of years ago now. So, interesting. Yeah. Izu, Hellenius. Need to see some more of these guys. I'd like to see Otto, Walt. Where you go?
That's fine. Have you guys talked about AJ and Brazil yet? Or prediction?
AJ and
Wilder.
Yeah,
we all think Brazil's going to get stopped.
Probably within 6. A couple of us thinking he might stop him pretty early.
Oh yeah, Wilder. Sorry, I should have said Wilder.
But we all think Brazil's going to get stopped one way or another. What are your thoughts?
To me, if Brazil can stay close, he can out of boxing, but it's whether or not he loses concentration and gets clipped. That's the danger. Right in his chest, because otherwise, if he stays in sort of medium to long range, he's going to get knocked out. But he could, in theory, outbox Wilder, but he has to stay right in his chest.
Yeah. I think he has to lay all over him as much as he possibly can.
All over him as he can, try and take some stamina out of Wilder. But it's going to take stamina out of Brazil doing that as well.
I think Wilder's hand speed's underrated.
It is.
Oh, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
I
don't think his hands
like
running his hams like
Amir Khan are that quick, but from
when he starts throwing a punch to when it lands, that's where most of his power, speed of the hand,
comes from. And
you don't even see it.
If you blink at the wrong time, you're on your back.
Just has
So he might start slowing down soon.
You're really quiet there, man. Couldn't hear that.
Let me take you off Bluetooth.
Closer to your phone.
No, I'm using my Bluetooth. Hold on.
Oh, that's why. That's why. Yeah, I've tried that. A couple times.
Is that better?
That's a bit better.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of an echo, but that's alright.
That's alright.
What were you saying there about water?
Yeah, I reckon he's 4 now, isn't he?
That's a good question.
33, I think.
Yeah.
33, I think.
No, I'm sure he's had a birthday. But I reckon he's going to start slowing down in fights.
Yeah, well, he's had issues with bones in his hands, elbows, forearms. Yeah, he's getting to the age where hitting things that hard for so many years is taking its toll on his bones. I don't know how much longer he's going to last, to be honest. 2 or 3 years.
And I reckon the reason...
Badly, Jono.
Yeah, it's coming through Tommy's because he hasn't got his headphones.
No, I'm using the Bluetooth software.
Yeah. We can hear ourselves when we speak.
Oh, right. Sorry, is that better?
Hello? Yeah, that's better. I can still hear him, but not as much.
Got a question here. Does anyone know the governing body for Fury versus Schwartz?
I think it's the WBO.
Yeah, we'll be the WBO because Tom Schwartz is WBO number one. That's the only reason Tyson Fury will be fighting him. Can't think of any other reason why you'd fight him anyway. He's not ranked in any other body whatsoever. But I don't think anyone was just look.
Yeah, Wilder's 33.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, can't see any Tom Schwartz anywhere but the WBO. So certainly should be the WBO. Let's have a look at the
But you see the Fury fight.
What was that?
With Wilder. I reckon the reason why Wilder maintained it and his endurance is because he came into the fight so light. Because if you look back when he was sparring with his shoulders were massive. Wilder was a lot bigger a few years ago.
Yeah, well, it seems to be like a common theme. Guys that finish in the amateurs and then move up to pro, they seem to pack on an extreme amount of muscle all of a sudden. Whether it's to going nuts and spending 18 hours a day in the gym and eating nothing but eggs, or taking peds before they turn pro. And then they seem to get smaller and smaller and
I think it's a bit
smaller.
of both.
I don't know, man.
Without
proof, I'm not going to say anyone's taking drugs, but
Gerald Miller can go jump. You got any thoughts about Gerald Miller there? Tommy, heard your opinion on him?
Yeah, I do. No, the thing is, he was caught with 3 different substances, is that right?
Yep. EPO, HGH, and GW1516.
See, I would argue, apart from the HGH, the effects of what he was taking, clenbuterol. If you take the HGH out of it, it's the same as clenbuterol in terms of its effects, generally speaking. Canelo popped 2 separate tests, right?
For the same thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they're going to blame it on fucking burritos. You know how much fucking meat you would have to eat. Anyway, I'll save that conversation for another time about breaking down the ped. I think he should be treated similarly to Canelo, in my opinion. If you're going to be consistent about it, what did he get? Did he get a 2-year ban? Did Miller get a 2-year ban?
I don't think he's got anything just yet. He's just been denied a boxing license in New York State at this stage. The governing bodies will come out with their disciplinary reaction at some stage.
If he gets a 2-year ban, I don't think it's consistent, and I don't think it's fair. Because if he was a cash cow, they would have managed a different way. Now I'm not advocating. I'm not sort of giving the green light to people to use peds, but what's good for the goose should be good for the gander.
Well, shit. I'm for a life ban to do
Canelo a pass
because
well,
I can't think of anybody that in boxing history that's been caught with 3 different peds in their system at the same time. It's the worst I've ever heard of.
Yep. I won't deny that.
But I don't know. Depends how much the governing bodies want back in. I know the WBC won't be interested in him. But shit, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I heard a rumor he's going to the NFL anyway.
I don't know. All right, lads. We've been on a fair while, so think about winding it up here. If anybody watching on archive hasn't gone and checked out Tommy Temple's channel, do so. You won't regret it. Subscribe. And You other two don't have channels, but it's been a pleasure having you guys all on anyway. And I'm looking forward to more chats in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Any final words?
And I pretty much said everything, man. Just looking forward to the upcoming fights, and I'll see you on the next podcast.
Awesome. Anyone else?
No, I'm all good. Appreciate you having me on, Jono.
All good. My pleasure. Alright. That's us then. Big Boys Boxing, Marla 243, Adam Fahey, and Tommy Temper. We out.
Seal.